Welcome back to 33-year-old boomer ranting in the woods. The Linux community has an upcoming health crisis. Let's talk about it. A few days ago, I made a poll on my channel to my modest audience of just under 3,000 subscribers. And I asked them, are you happy with your physical aspect? Now, on a really good poll, I might get about 250 replies. I was expecting to get very few responses on this one because I didn't think that the autistic internet nerd community cared that much about their aspect and their health. But when I checked it last night, it was at about 100 votes. And the proportions were kind of interesting. About 10% of responders said, yes, I'm very happy with my aspect. Then about 40% said that they're happy with it, but it could use some improvement. Another 40% said that they're not happy with it and that they have to improve it. And about 10% said they're not happy with it, but that's okay. Now, I have a sneaking suspicion that the percentages aren't quite accurate, because much like many other polls, the people who vote in them self-select. I have a suspicion that there is a hidden majority of computer nerds who are in fact not happy with their aspect at all. And I mean, look, I get it. When I grew up, when I was a wee lad, I watched Hackers. And I was enamored with how elite everyone was and how cool Zero Cool looked, hacking in the dark. Look, Mom, I'm hacking. I'm hacking the mainframe. And of course, I had a massive crush on Acid Burn, just like everyone else who watched that film. I thought, wow, they're all so attractive and cool and smart. I want to be like that. And then one day I realized, bear in mind I was like 10 when I first saw that film. And then one day I realized, oh, hold on a second. These are actors. They're models who were literally paid, to look good on camera. That Acid Burn is just Angelina Jolie. Angelina Jolie doesn't know how to hack the planet. She's pretending. So is Miller, Johnny Lee Miller, is that his name, I think? They don't know how to do any of this. Like, going to bed late and spending all that time in front of the computer, drinking Coke and eating Hot Pockets that you microwave, does not lead to looking like that. There is a very interesting difference there between what they look like. Just gotta avoid the dogs. Eastern Europe for the win. It's snowing, so there's fewer people around, and the dogs are kind of going a bit crazy. Anyway, so I realized, there's actually no connection between the hacker lifestyle and looking like that and being that healthy and being that fit. In fact, the reality is very grim. And I think that this is a health crisis that is facing the Linux community, the autist online, terminally online kind of people. And this is something that has been allowed to fester for a very long time. About a week ago, I started my own health adventure. I hate the word journey. Oh, my health journey. It's kind of cringe. My health adventure. That's right. When I decided to keep a daily log on my channel, if you check my top comment right now, the pinned comment, it tells you which day this is. It tells you how many kilos and pounds I weigh, how many subscribers I have, and generally what I ate that day and what I did that day, outside of my normal work, my freelancing, plus the fact that I obviously made a video. That's obviously something that I've achieved today, but that's not included in the actual log. And I think that this meme of, yo bro, I'm a computer nerd, I'm really out of shape, and I just sit on my computer all day and night, and I sleep 3 hours a day, and I drink Red Bull all day and a Monster energy drink and eat Hot Pockets. I think that meme has to come to an end. I think that meme has done an insane amount of damage to the online nerds, because it's convinced you that that is sustainable. And when you're a teenager, when you're in your early 20s, you can absolutely live like that. I don't recommend it, but you can live like that. It is possible to live like that and be fairly productive. But that's because you're like 19 and you can just go without sleep for like 4 days and it's not gonna you can still do things. But the reality is that, especially if you're below 20, I don't know how to tell you this, but you are rapidly approaching unk status, which is when you turn 20 apparently, is now where unk status is reached. I became an unk in 2012, that's when I turned 20. And look, this is obviously a very complicated subject. You can gaslight yourself into being a lot healthier. I would actually recommend that you always think of yourself as 18, 19, 20. Because there's been a bunch of studies on this. There's been studies where they put people who were old, like actual old people, they put them in these sort of like environments where they were told that it's actually 20 to 30 years prior, right? So in the 70s, I believe, they did these studies where they took like 40, 50, 60-year-old people, and they put them in these sort of summer camp type places where they were told the year is actually 1950 and you're significantly younger, and they were told, yeah, you're not 50, you're actually 30, you're actually 20, and you should act like it. And after only 1 week of being exposed to this environment, of gaslighting themselves into thinking that they're 20 or 30, they all actually looked younger. They were healthier, like they took blood tests and they were all healthier just by pretending that they're younger. So you should actually live and think that you're actually 18 forever. There is validity to that. But much like how living like that when you're 20, when you're 19 isn't a good idea, it's still not a good idea to do it when you're in your 20s or 30s. Or even later. Like, you should live as if you're 18, but you should make the kind of good decisions that would have been good when you were 18, because those are still good now. Right now I'm walking in the cold. I've only got shorts on because I believe that this is helping my health. I believe that this is helping my health. I believe that this is making me healthier, stronger, more resilient. Everyone is staring at me. I'm in a small Eastern European town, but that's okay, because they just don't get it. They think they're the ones in the right by being comfy and snug. Oh, I'm so comfy, I'm so snug, bro. Oh, I've got my USB powered heater jacket on, bro. They don't get it, and that's fine. People throughout history, people whose names you know, were all outliers. They were all strange. They were all looked at and mocked by the masses because the masses just didn't get it. I've also been working on my mouth breathing. You may have noticed that I've been doing a lot less of it in this video. I didn't used to do mouth breathing when I was younger, but as I got heavier, I just fell into the habit of doing mouth breathing, especially when talking. And it wasn't until people started pointing it out that I realized, oh no, I'm actually doing a lot of mouth breathing. So I've been doing some mewing and just doing my best. Even when I exercise, I try and do it with my lips closed and whilst with the tongue out the roof of my mouth. And it's funny because I used to do mewing instinctively as a teenager, as a kid. I remember I've been to multiple dentists, like random checkups and stuff. And they would tell me, I've had multiple dentists say, you keep your tongue on the roof of your mouth, don't you? And I go, yeah, how did you know? They go, I can tell, because you have a lot of space in your mouth. Like, your teeth aren't crowded, right? Like, most people's teeth are crowded because they keep their tongue on the floor of their mouth. And they mouth breathe and they sleep with their mouth open and they snore and they do all these bad things, which not only has a bunch of health implications, but it also has implications in terms of development. So, for example, my jaw is well developed. All my teeth have plenty of room in my mouth. My wisdom teeth aren't crowded. They're not. Many people have this, and it's because they didn't breathe correctly growing up. And this is the kind of thing that I want you, dear autist, watching this. This is the thing that I want you to be aware of. I want you to be aware of the fact that you are not invincible. And even though you should think of yourself as an 18-year-old forever, you are not invincible. The effects of your poor decisions will compound over time. And even though, you can have a bad habit here or there, but these bad habits compound. And it's less about the fact that you're older, and it's more about the fact that your poor habits have been compounding for a long time. Because you can be 50 and be healthy, be in shape. What's that Asian guy? I'm going to put him on screen right now, who's like 50 or something, and he looks like he's 20. Genetics are a part of it, of course, but the idea of aging, the reason why you're weaker, quote unquote, as you get older, isn't necessarily because of the age itself. It's because of the compounding effect of all the poor decisions that you've made throughout your life. And as a member of the Linux computer nerd, NeoVim fan, internet autist community, I want us to thrive. I want us to be healthy. I want us to be attractive. Because you may think that looks don't matter, but they do. The halo effect is real. Pretty privilege, as people call it, is real. If you are handsome, if you are pretty, if you are attractive, if people enjoy looking at you, you will have far more opportunities than if you don't. And even though your genetics are a bottleneck, or can be, they don't have to be a bottleneck, but they can be a bottleneck. Even though that can be the case, there are still a myriad of things that you can do to dramatically improve your life. And if you feel inspired by this, I invite you to comment down below in my pinned comment and tell me what it is that you've done today that has made you healthier and thus more attractive and thus more successful and thus happier and more confident. These things are not dissonant. These things are not mutually exclusive. You can be a computer nerd. You can be a fan of Vim, of the terminal, Emacs, God forbid. You can be a fan of all these things and be healthy and be attractive. These things are not mutually exclusive. You've been gaslit into believing that the nerds have to look out of shape and unhealthy, and that's just a point of pride. It isn't. Because one day you'll be 30, you'll be 40. And the thing that you enjoy doing, all this computer stuff, is going to be negatively impacted by your bad decisions. Because a healthy mind lives in a healthy body. And if you don't have a healthy body, guess what happens to your mind? I'll see you in the next one. Bye-bye.